Good day everyone, I welcome you back to my channel. Today we will be looking at the midpoint, and we'll be specifically looking at, or rather calculating, the coordinates of the midpoint given this following line segment. Now suppose you are given the following line segment. Okay, first of all, we gonna have to have our Cartesian plane. So we have our Cartesian plane there. So we have our y-intercept with respect to our x-intercept. So our line of x-axis and our y-axis. So our Cartesian plane is presented in this format. So we have markings, and we have -1, -2, -3, -4. We just simply stop there, and we have simply 1 and 2. Okay, and then similarly along our y-axis we have the following values. So here we have -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. Above 0 on along our y-axis we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then we are given, specifically we are given the line segment, and our line segment is as follows. So ranging from -4 on along our y-axis, so where x is equals to 0 and y is equals to -4 at this point here. And then on the other side we are given the coordinates at B when x is equals to -2 and y is equals to 6. So at this intercept, yeah, this is the point. So these are the two nodal points. So what I need to do now is just to simply indicate this by means of a line, our line segment. So that's our line segment there. So by reference, again, remember this is our point. We have our point. Our points are as follow. This is point A, and this is point B. And the coordinates are x is equals to 0, y is equals to -4. Sorry. Okay. The coordinates are as follow. X is equals to 0, and then y is equals to -4. Okay, and then at B, x is equals to -2, and y is equals to 6. This is very important that you consider these values. Those are critical points.
It's 21 hours.
Because we actually gonna need to be able to use those in our formula and integrate them successfully so that we can be able to find the midpoint. Now we need to let, okay, we need to let M, which is our midpoint in this case, x, we have xm and ym. So we have to take them simultaneously as we go through our application. So now, moving forward, now we need to now determine the coordinates of the midpoint, rather the central point between these two nodal points at where between A and B, now those halfway between A and B, using our midpoint formula. So our midpoint formula is annotated as follows. So xm is equals to xa plus xp divided by 2. Okay, that's for just finding our midpoint for the x coordinate. And then for the y coordinate, we have ym is equals to ya plus yb, also divided by 2. Okay, now moving forward, we need to continue maintaining our xm. This is what we want to find, the midpoint. So it's equals to xa. So similarly, I like to actually amplify something, or rather highlight something in this case. So we should take into account that here at A, this point here at A, we have xa, and then we also have ya. Okay, so and then here at B we have xb, and then conversely we have yb. Okay, so now by substitution using our formula, so we just need to focus on x a now in this case. So we have 0 on our x-axis, and then y in this case. Before we look at y, but we have for xb now we have -2. So I'm just going to put it in a bracket because we need to multiply out. Okay, and then for y on the side, this is a different color. For y, we have it. We're going to actually now start integrating everything into the equation. So at y now, ya we have -4. I think we should use the same color so that I can maintain consistency. So we have -4 plus, and then yb in this case we just simply have 6, and then divided by 2. Xm is equals to 0 plus -2, or rather negative times positive gives us -2 over 2. Ym is equals to -4 plus 6 gives us 2 over 2. Xm is equals to 0 minus 2 gives us -2 divided by 2. Ym is equals to 2 divided by 2 gives us 1. Okay, and then finally on this x-intercept of our midpoint we have -1. So therefore our intercepts at the midpoint are xm and ym. That's what we found to be equals to x. The coordinates of x on our midpoint is -1, and the coordinates of y is just simply +1. So essentially what this means, it means that the midpoint for this line segment is at this intercept here. That's where the intercept is. Essentially what this, rather technically what this means, it means that this is our midpoint. So we have -1 there, and then +1. Okay, so that's our midpoint application as far as this calculation is concerned. So moving forward, we need to now determine x and y in the following. Okay. So to determine x and y, I think that should just clear everything off. To determine x and y in this, so for the second question we are given, this is question 2. Now for question 2, we are to determine x and y if a, when the midpoint is equals to, where x is equals to -4 and y is just 1, that's the midpoint. And then when the line segment, so you're given a line segment where x is equals to -2 and then y is 4, and then b, we just simply given the variables x and y. Okay, there are conditions here. So now what happens is, now we are already given the midpoint, so let's go ahead and annotate our parameters. So our parameters in this case, our coordinates for the midpoint, so we have xm, we have xm, rather, just indicate here, we have xm and ym. That's what we are given there. Okay, now the values that are given, a is at x is at -2 at point A, and then y is simply 4, and then b, we're just simply given x and y. So we need to find the values of x and y. So let's go ahead and calculate that. Now we essentially now need to be very careful, because we need to actually start off by writing out our general application of our midpoint formula. So it goes like this. We start off by writing xm is equals to xa plus xb divided by 2. Okay, and then don't forget, now in this case we are actually asked to find x and y. Okay, so there are conditions, like I said. So essentially here we can just simply say we have xa and then ya. Okay, this is what we have, given the fact that this a is denoted simply because we have a there. And then here we have, similarly here we have xb and yb. And now these b's, b is indicated for the fact that because we are working with b at that point, so hence now we actually annotate it as b. Okay, so one is to be very careful with that. It's critical for our application in this instance. So now to move forward, we actually can take this simultaneously. In fact, we can simply say and ym is equals to yb plus, sorry, ya plus yb, okay, divided by 2. Okay, xm is already given. Remember, xm is already given there. So xm in this case is just simply -4 is equals to, and now xa is -2 plus yb, xb rather, xb is equals to just x divided by 2, and ym is 1 is equals to ya is 4 plus yb is just simply y divided by 2. Now by substitution, we already have -4 this side, multiply by 2 is equals to, because 2 will join the -4 all over the equal sign, and it multiplies, and then you're only left with -2 plus x. So remember now, this x here is this our xb. In fact, I should indicate it as xb. And remember, here we are looking at yb on the other side. So we have 1, 2 is division. If it moves over the equal sign, it becomes a multiplication. Is equals to 4 plus yb. Okay, that's essentially what we have now. Now, -4 times 2 gives us -8 is equals to -2 plus xb. And, okay, 1 times 2 gives us 2 is equals to 4 plus yb. Okay, and now notice now we have constants. -8 and -2 are constants. And then we have xb, which is a variable. So we're gonna have to bind our constants together. So in this case, we already have -8 on the other side of the equal sign, and then we have -2 on the other side of, on the right hand side of the equal sign. So if it moves over, becomes +2. This equals to xb. So we have n, 2 is already this side, and then 4 is to join the 2 on the other side of the equal sign, becomes -4 is equals to yb. Okay, and then -8. So we have -8 plus 2 gives us -6. So xb is equals to -6, and 2 minus 4 gives us -2. Okay, that's our value for yb. So therefore b is xb and yb are equals to, so the coordinates are -6, where x is -6 and y is -2. Okay, that's our application for the second question, question 2a. Okay, please, if there are any questions regarding this question or this problem, please comment in the section below so that I can be able to highlight certain pointers relating to this application on midpoint and calculating, or rather determining, the midpoints given the line segment. Looking at the second question now of second question 2 rather, 2b. So this question goes like this. So looking at question 2. Now question 2 goes like this. Now we have question 2. Remember, this is question 2, but we are looking at question 2b now in this case. Now this time we are given parameters as follow. M, the coordinates, rather the midpoint coordinates are x is goes to 0, and then y is just simply y. It's a variable in this case. So this is our first parameter, or the information that you are given of the midpoint, and then the line segment. Okay, this is the line segment. So the line segment, okay, let's first identify where A is, what A is rather. So A, the point at A, y is equals to -1, and then y is equals to -3. Okay, so x is equals to -1 and y is equals to -3. And then similarly at B, we're just given the 2 coordinates. Okay, so x is just simply x as it's given, and then y is equals to 7. Okay, now first of all, what is critical here is to annotate these given parameters as you would like to see them in the equation, or the original equation. So let's go ahead and annotate them. So in this case, our midpoint, so it will have xm, don't forget m for midpoint, to denote m for midpoint with the capital M there, and then we have ym on this other side. Okay, we have ym. Okay, and then this side for our parameter for a, so where a is, our parameters are, remember where they were, x is equals to -1, and then y is equals to -3. So essentially we have xa by ya. Okay, because we're talking about a here. And then b, since we talk about b's here, so we have x, we are just given x, and then we are given 7 on the side. So here we have x b, and y is just simply yb. So in this case we have 7 in this case. So now by substitution, I'll have to use a different color. By substitution, we are going to use our midpoint formula once again. So our midpoint formula goes like this: xm is equals to xa plus xb divided by 2. Okay, that's for x. And then for y is equals to, ym is equals to ya plus yb, okay, divided by 2. Okay, now by substitution, we are already given the midpoints there in this case. So we know that our midpoint for x is just simply 0. Okay, there's 0 here. In fact, it's becoming messy. So that's our 0. We use a different color. This is the 0 I'm talking about. So is equals to xa. Xa is in this case -1 plus xb. So we have to look for xb is just simply x. So these are the values I'm looking at. Rather the parameters I'm looking at, and then at ym, we're just gonna actually simply look at ym now. So we have for ym, we need to substitute these values now, the parameters, into that equation or general equation. So ym in this case, we're given ym, so ym in this case is just a variable, so we just simply have y is equals to, okay, remember it needs to be written in this format, okay guys, because we are annotating it. So ya in this case is -3 plus yb, this is simply 7, so we're using these parameters here, divided by 2. Okay, now we need to find x and y, so they are, as you can see, they are waiting for us comfortably in this equation. So we have y there and we have x there, so that's what we need to find. So technically now, moving forward, what we need to do now is 0 is already waiting on the other side, or rather it's actually already on the other side. So we have 0. 2 is division, so if you move over the equal sign, it changes to multiplication. So we have 0 times 2 is equals to -1 plus x. Okay, and then similarly here with y, so we have 2 times y gives us 2y is equals to -3 plus 7. Okay, now 0 times 2 gives us 0 is equals to -1 plus x. And then this side we only have we already have our constants, which are -3 plus 7, so we just maintain 2y because it's a coefficient, and then -3 plus 7 gives us 4. Okay, so once again we have 0, these are constants, so 0 is a constant and -1 are constants. So -1 moves over the equal sign to join 0, it becomes +1. It's equals to, only remain with x being a variable on one side, and then using our algebra, we're just gonna remain with x being equals to 1, and then y, remember, in fact, let me actually show the steps on how you get there. So here we divide, because of the coefficient, we divide by 2 on both sides, and then notice the 2 cancels out and only remain with y. Only remain with y is equals to 4 divided by 2 gives us 2. Okay, so x and y are found now. So in this case, we can now go ahead by saying now xm is equals to 1, rather sorry, xb. So it's actually xb. xb, that's what we are looking for. This is what we are looking for. So xb is equals to 1, and then ym, okay, ym is equals to 2, and then that brings us to the end of our application. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel so that I can be able to continue creating these educational videos and content. And also, don't forget to drop a comment below so that I can be able to look at some of the pointers, or rather highlight some of the critical points relating to midpoint formulas. Okay, thank you for watching. Goodbye.